actually, it probably leads to our next question. So what are the limitations of cross-platform in general?
All right, so yeah, one of the main concerns regarding general cross-platform is the size of the app, because cross-platform frameworks need to be included in the final file, and it's quite a burden. I'm talking like 10 or 8 megabytes of additional file size. And also Flutter has a serious limitation, as I mentioned just before. And it's a consequence of its architecture, because it draws its components from scratch instead of using existing ones. You cannot reuse already existing native widgets. And it may not seem like a big deal, but it prevents Flutter developers from using Google Maps, for example. And there is an ongoing project that will allow to embed existing components into Flutter, just like React Native does. But currently, it's not stable enough to be used in a commercial project. Yeah, React Native is known for its poor support for Bluetooth connection, for example. But from a developer perspective, you should be careful about communicating with the device in general, because cross-platform acts as a little bit like a middleman. So you can talk to the device APIs directly, like you would in a native project. Instead, it's necessary to write platform-specific code and provide a way to communicate with it from the framework. And it's in most cases it's not a big deal. This has already been done by the community, and there are many great packages available. But if for any reason you cannot use them, or you don't want to use them because they may not suit your needs, this work needs to be done from scratch.
Maybe just add a little bit to that topic of capabilities and limitations of the cross-platform. So if we would, we can go one step back and for a moment and understand why Google and Facebook invested in creating their cross-platform frameworks. Mobile developers and mobile app product owners, they have a huge problem. If they want to deliver their product to the entire mobile user market, they need to write 2 versions of the code. So one for Android and one for iOS. And it became even worse when Windows Mobile was available, because developers had to code 3 apps instead of 2. So the technology that will consolidate the tech into one platform and one language will rule the custom mobile development world. So this is what those huge companies are trying to achieve. And Google and Facebook with their tech, so the Flutter and React Native, they are really close to achieving this goal. And for me, both technologies are kind of 3rd or 4th generation of the cross-platform, because before that we had first, it all started with the web view inside the native app. Then there were frameworks like Ionic or PhoneGap, which introduced something what we called hybrid apps. Later on, Xamarin came, and it was then acquired by Microsoft. And now we have React Native and Flutter. So each generation of those cross-platform tech has resolved some problems that previous generation had. And now we can say that the capabilities of React Native and Flutter are really close to native Android and native iOS development. And I'm talking here about the quality of user experience, capabilities of user interface, the general performance, and the quality of the end product. So, but of course, like we know the history of the cross-platform, there was a first generation, another one, and another one. So the devil is inside the details, and we will help you to understand these details further in the presentation. Okay, we can.
All right. Can I just add, I know from a sales perspective, when people first come to a development company, sometimes they've already got in their mind, yes, that I want to develop in React Native or whatever, and one of the key reasons is because they want to have one code base. But am I right in suggesting that it's sometimes quicker to bridge that code with native code if you're using things like, I don't know, Google Maps with Flutter or Bluetooth with React Native? I'll throw that open to either of you.
This is the devil that I was talking about. So yeah, if you want to implement some low-level features or integration with Bluetooth or integration with other third-party devices, then it will probably take much longer to achieve the high quality of your solution using cross-platform, and native tech is better suited for that. So yeah, product owner needs to understand that. We'll talk about that a little bit later when we will compare native and cross-platform development a little bit more.